You're here.
Yeah. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from wherever you are in the world. For us, it is morning. It's a little bit of an unusual hour because our guest coach, Tin Matkovic, who you're already seeing on the screen there, has got some work to do later today. So we moved it up to a little bit of an earlier hour, but that's fine. We're going to talk about the evolution of creativity. Player creativity, not so much coach creativity in this place, but obviously, okay, how do we deal with that as coaches as well? And yeah, as usual, people, if you are lucky enough to join us while we are live here, make this interactive, ask your questions. Let us know in the comments if you agree, disagree with what is being said or being shown here. So make it interactive. Bring on your questions as much as possible while we are live. Um, Tim, yeah, no need to introduce you anymore. People already know you. Coach from originally Croatia, but been coaching in the German Bundesliga for some years now already, and recently moved to a new club, Stuttgarter, where you are right now. But let's talk about creativity.
Hi, Ernest. So thank you so much for having me. I apologize for changing the times. Has a little bit of tight schedule at the moment, but I'm sure next time I'm gonna be available with the times. And yeah, let's jump in. Let's definitely jump in some nice topics that I had prepared. I would also like if there's any questions from the people, you can just either ask Ernest because I don't see everything on the display, and with that way we can also have some fun and maybe create. Maybe I get my creativity for the next time that I'm doing something to head it better or with more quality delivering. So by that said, the first point is that I would like to point out for everybody is that a little bit of an intro. So I was thinking, due to watching a lot of hockey in the yeah, last 15 years, I think it was really a big talk about tactical understandings, about technical developments, about player abilities, and about creating players' abilities. What I find really interesting that you always have this out of the box things happening in our game, which not all of the people can duplicate. So there's players that can do something that you cannot actually replicate or as a drill in the normal training session. But let's say in like a smaller group environment, you can create maybe the same amount or the same pattern that got them to execute this skill. And I will go more into this details, and this is just my opinion how I try to restructure it and try how to structure it to yeah, present it to my players. With this said, I think that creativity for me is the most important thing when we have top players, especially in the youth. With this, I think it's also a quality buy-in for them to explore their skills and go into a constant repetition of being super happy and super enjoyment that every time they're on the field they want to play with the ball as much as possible, and I try to get them understand why they do it and in which moments would be the best, or my suggestion is when to use this creativity, when to be a little bit less creative, more effective, and so on as the story goes. So my personal opinion is that hockey went in the last 10, 15 years is reforming and changing constantly. I think it's transforming in a positive way, of course, getting so much more faster. The players that I said in the past, we called it like super skill, for example, a high ball or a 3D dribble with, like, let's say, two connections in the air, carrying the ball the whole time on your stick, or these special technical movements that were in the past when I was younger that were not being able to be done by, let's say, a bigger group of doing. Now it's been done by the kids already that are 14 years old. So I was lucky enough to see and to work with some talents that are really young and already capable of doing stuff that it took me years to do. Obviously, with the impact on social media and a lot of contents from our sport getting on the internet, I think that blending the technical skills and tactical innovation was becoming also a little bit easier because you can see a lot of stuff being done on the internet. Yeah, so if you Google 3D skills, you can see the a lot of people are executing that in like in the game. So like the high ball passes, short high ball passes. So everything is much more available for the people that want to discover and to want to search for it. Um, yeah. With that said, I have a little bit of visualizations that I like to use. In these visualizations, I try to explain that every link and every small logo is opening something new for us. So I will guide you through a little bit. I will first open all of them, and then later on you can tell me your opinion about it. You can tell me how I classified it. Maybe it's yeah, a little bit visualized because I would also present it to the kids and try to get them on board that they understand what they're doing just by seeing, let's say, the principle is also connected with some kind of a visualization photo, or in this moment, like the masks. Yeah, then we have yeah, a couple of more interesting one. Yeah, so and then we try to go a little bit more into details of all of the stuff that we did, or all of the stuff I tried to present. Just that said, I would say that the evolution of hockey had, in my opinion, right now went into, let's say, more or less a three big phase. So I think that the structure era, yeah, I'm not obligated to say it exactly, or I will not say that from which year the year was the structural era, but I think in the past people were much more keen on having this clarity of everything what's being done, and also having a control, I would say, than now in these times when we have a little bit of a more of okay, I'm gonna let my players also find their own way of doing it, as long as it's like working in a big picture. And then I think also that this more creative era brought the best highlights of our sport. So some of the videos that I put in, which I try to connect with my ideas about this visual things and visual names of principles. Yeah, this, of course, like I said, just my principle of play, how I see the game, and how I try to explain it to the kids. So, unpredictable wins. I think that with this, I was trying to emphasize that everything that is coming from body fakes, from passing fakes, and from a non-articulate movement um, can result as a really nice and how to say it, like an unpredictable pattern of playing one versus one, or winning a two versus one in the situation where we're body faking and trying to have an overview of what is happening on the field, and then trying to decide, okay, will I pass the ball? If I fake it right now and I see the defender then going to the story, then I don't need to pass the ball at all. I can carry it my own way. um, and yeah, I think also I connected it, which is maybe not typical with the all of the explanation we had from our coaches, but this last second decision changes is, I would say, more now what I try to talk with my team about the shootouts. So it's becoming also a really, really important part of our game, when the shootouts can win you matches. Or let's say here right now in the Bundesliga, we had a situation that the shootouts, when the game is finishing, we're finishing with an equal amount of points, and on the end, with winning a shootout, you get this one additional point that could potentially get you in the situation that you have a win over the game that maybe you were not a better opposition in the normal playing, in the normal time that it was running, but you get ahead 1 point for being super good at executing the shootouts. So smart risks, smart risks. I try to connect that with this typical harmony of the players. So I said, like, if we try to create, I will talk more about 2 versus 1 and 3 versus 1, to find this situation in a counterplay, for example, when we can decide to yeah, to pass the ball to our teammates and then go for the overlap, to always try to create the one passing option in front. So overlap for me is, if I'm playing a 2 versus 1, I would like to, after a give and go, try to force myself to run in front, to be again an option somewhere on the field as a 2 versus 1. I call it a smart risk because always, yeah, it goes also for the 1v1s, but for the 2v1, it's also trying to create a speed of movement on ball and speed of execution. So in the situation that we can quickly eliminate without the actually eliminating with running with the ball. So as quick as possible pass, let's say left foot pass. It's quite a common one, I would say here, and the one that's been used really a lot, and it's associated with millions of principles that are explaining, like left foot attacking, left foot passing. Yeah, so I think it's quite important that the kids also understand the risks and reward in the processes, or risk and reward what is coming when we do the skills. And yeah, the last one we already discussed in a big picture. So it's really important for me to use all of the skills to have an advantage point of the match or on the game. And by advantage point, I think it's really nice that when we use the skills, we are always we are always dangerous to the goal. No matter if it's a 1v1, 2 versus 1, or 3v1, we want to make sure that there is no, that if we can shoot on goal and score a goal, that was our best and the first option. We don't need to go in that much details, or we don't need to go in that much thinking about how we're gonna do it, and yeah, explaining the whole thing over and over again to the same. Shaping space. I think that this is also a little bit connected with my previous thinking and my previous webinar, that, or let's say presentation I got, and this is with player understanding, and also about the actual ability of this, like I would say, quality players, or the players that are extremely smart on ball. They can sometimes see the game come one time in advance, so they can see the situation in their head, they can visualize the situation in their head before coming. And I also think it's like really important to synthesize this, the shaping of space, when we're playing against the zonal defense, due to I think when we're playing versus 1 man marking with a free defender or without a free defender, it is getting more into manipulation by movement. And if we talk about shaping space for the zonal, then it means that you don't need to have that much movement, but with really quality body position and receive, you can already have this dangerous elimination just by receiving. For example, if you position yourself in this so-called zonal box and you receive the ball open, you will then need to, or the opposition will then need to see how they're going to close you, and which principles will they use then, which will open you, like let's say like this, a run left and right that will create like one touch, one touch acceleration pass through the zones, which will be ability to eliminate without actually movement of elimination. So then we go skill variety. This is a pretty simple one. So I've been now trying to implement that all of the trainings in the morning are really skill based, and every team that I'm coaching right now, thanks to God, I was also lucky enough that I have enough material to do this. But we try every time to focus on the 3D skills. Why I put here baseline, or I think it's really common that people talk right now about the right and the left side circle entries, and then you have, of course, by sorry, by yourself, you have a million rules that are made by you or the coaches or together with the team. But basically, for me, it means that if we are going to the baseline, we want to be as effective as possible. And we have like this special rule that we now try to say that if there's a possibility to enter the baseline by carrying the stick, especially in the